Feminine charm is synonymous with Christian Dior, but up until now it's been more present in the clothes than the label's designers. After Mr Dior himself, Yves Saint Laurent took the helm, followed by Marc Bohan, Gianfranco Ferré, John Galliano and Raf Simons. Now Grazia Chiuri is the first woman to direct the French couture house in its 70-year history. She took time out to sit down for a chat amid the flurry of activity at the label's workshop. Grazia, thank you so much for joining us on France 24. You've just presented the fall-winter collection of haute couture for Dior, a very important moment in the fashion calendar. What was going through your mind during the design process?
This collection is very important for me because it's also our anniversary. And so I decided to start with this collection with an homage to Mr Dior, because in any case he was our founder. And I think in this specific haute couture, I worked a lot with the code Dior.
Dior has such an incredible legacy of celebrating strong femininity.
This idea of a strong woman, she's made it feminine, but masculine too. It's a mix of masculine and feminine, of everything. And I love the embroidery on the coats as well.
You've spent about a year now as the head of this very prestigious brand. How has it been? Any highlights, any surprises?
I found this book in Dior archive that Mr Dior did in '54, and this book surprised me because immediately showed like Dior was a worldwide brand. He opened atelier also in New York, also in the other country. He understood immediately the difference of women around the world. And surprised me also to know that immediately he started with different category of product like parfum, scarves, fur. And that's unbelievable for the time because we are speaking of about a few years after the war.
Christian Dior was among the first brands to encompass every facet of fashion. Today, the label has hung on to some traditions, employing milliner Stephen Jones to oversee couture hats, headdresses and masks. He's become an integral part of the design team.
I think hats have always been part of the language of Dior anyway, but I think, you know, for me, hats are the punctuation mark to the sentence of fashion. I mean, we really provide the exclamation marks more than anything. The first season I worked with Grazia, normally we have a girl like we have here trying the hats on, and Grazia was the first person who said, "Excuse me, is it okay if I try it on myself?" And she put it on and she looked fantastic. She said, "It's in the show."
Built a successful career in your native Italy at Fendi, Valentino. How has it been adapting to a French workplace, a Parisian professional life?
Oh, I think there is many things that are not so different between French and Italy. We have a huge culture about fashion, but probably in different way. I think that French are very close with the past, with the heritage, and they want to maintain this live. Italians are very a point of view more about now and the future, are not so obsessed with the heritage. Probably sometimes they forgot to celebrate our heritage, because in any case I'm Italian. But that's helped them to be very fresh, I want to make a mix. I want to maintain this idea of heritage because I think really that is important because it's part of our history, and so. But at the same time, I want to move in the world in Italian way and with this idea about the future.
Dior's taking a look back at its rich history with a special anniversary exhibition at the Museum of Decorative Arts in Paris. With over 300 haute couture creations on display, it's also a peek behind the scenes at the work of the petites mains, the expert craftsmen and women dealing with feathers, crystal, embroidery and tulle, confections that can take more than 1,000 hours to complete. When you look at that, what do you see that Dior's contribution to fashion has been in 7 decades?
When you see the exhibition, you don't see only dress. You see like the dress express the time. When I arrived in Dior, at my first pret-à-porter, the first things that I say, that I believe that our heritage is not only Mr. Dior, but all the huge designer and talent designer that worked in Dior.
And how have you seen that style evolve over the ages?
If you see Mr. Dior, for example, Dior is evident that is after the war, the color are gray, black, ivory and blue. Only in evening dress you have a touch of color. People imagine